Hello everybody, welcome to Like My Way Tarot. Again, my name is Stephanie, and today I'm doing something different. I couldn't sleep last night, and I really had to do this video and tell you about how to use a pendulum for yourself, what you can use as a pendulum, and how it works. So this, I use my pendulums all the time, and I also use them to pick my pile of cards when I'm watching videos of, like, watching readings. So I figured maybe you'd be interested in having an idea or the knowledge to use this for yourself. Sorry, this one is all tangled. I'm gonna go fix this and be right back. Okay. Really needed to fix this before I start. So, what you need to know is that you can get answers from pendulums, but you can use a lot of other things as pendulums, and you have them in your house. You have them anywhere. So if you don't have one available, and if you don't have a store where you can go and get one, you can find something in your house to do this that would do the same thing. So pendulums are just it's very simple. It's giving you answers through divine energy or through spirits. And the only thing you need to know is that everything is energy and time doesn't exist. When you're starting to do this, it would be much easier if you're calm and relaxed, and maybe you want to lit a candle or meditate a little bit before. But really, once you get used to this, you can do this anywhere, anytime, with anything. So, how to use a pendulum. So this is the first one that I got, and I got into that store, and they had a bunch of fancy pendulums with different colors and with sparkles and like different kind of chains, and I ended up buying the most boring one, which is just brown. It's just like, it was like, I thought it was the ugliest one there, but I tried it and it worked right away in the store. So once you pick something that means something to you, or it's just going to be your instinct and your intuition guiding you to pick something, you're just going to feel it when you hold it, really. The weight is going to be just right, and it's going to feel just right, and it's just going to connect with you. I always say the pendulum is going to choose you. You don't choose it. Always. And I have a bunch. I had more, and I given some away. Just because I had to in that moment, and that's fine. And I'm going to get more, and I'm not worried about it. But so this one was my first one. The way you ask for your answer, it's always going to answer yes or no. So you don't have any stories that will come with this. It's yes or no, and you will have to dig in to get details. That's why I like having the cards, because you get the feelings, you get the emotions, you get the story that comes with your question. But I like to validate with this. So once you pick something that means something to you, and I'll go through all options, to know what a yes is for you or what a no is for you, you need to ask your pendulum. So, and it doesn't matter how you hold it. Let me see. Okay, so you can hold it like by the end of the chain, or you can go and hold it in the middle and like wrap the chain around your fingers. It doesn't matter. It just has to be able to move on its own. For this video, I'm just going to hold it in the middle because I want to make sure you see my end. Yeah. You have to be stable, and once you get good at it and your pendulum might spin or move or do bigger movement, you might have to lift your elbow because it can go super high. It happened to me a few times that I was spinning so fast that it just flew away across the room. So once you find your pendulum, you're gonna ask it to give you your yes. So what's a yes for me, pendulum? So for me, a yes is turning clockwise. It could be something else for you. So for it to stop, you just say thank you. And it's going to stop. You can stop it on your own. I like to thank it. Pendulum, what's a no for me? So for me, it's a back and forth. So that's my yes and my no. Thank you, pendulum. Okay, there's other movement that your pendulum can do, and I'll get to that later. Before that, I want to show you that you can use anything. So you can use like something with an image that means something to you. So this is a tree of life, and it's one of my necklaces. So check this out. Give me a yes. I'm getting my yes. Give me my no. There you go. So it works with a necklace. It could be like a chain with your mother's ring on it. It has to be meaningful, I think, for the first pendulum when you're gonna like practice. So any kind of jewelry is gonna work. It's the movement and your answer is gonna be a bit more clear when it's heavier. But see, this is super light. It's my zodiac sign. It's the sign for Taurus. So give me my yes. See, it's a little softer and smaller. Since I've been doing this for a long time, I can ask it to go higher and spin faster. Give me my no. And it's just going to change direction slowly to go in the other direction. So anything works. Okay, any kind of pendant would work. They say that it's better when it's pointy. So this is a super long one. So it could be something like this. And I think I got this in like a clothing store, like in the accessory department. I'm not even sure it's a real stone. It could be plastic. It doesn't matter. So give me a yes. Spinning, and give me a no. That works too. If you're stuck and you don't have a chain on you, you can go and use your earring, but the movement is not going to be as clear. Just make sure it's dangly a little bit, okay? So, give me a yes. Give me my yes. See, it's turning. Stop. Thank you. Give me a no. And I get my no. Like, you can have like bigger jewelry, and then that was going to work as well. Give me a yes. Give me a yes. Give me a no. So you can do this with anything, even like, believe it or not, this is the plug for my sink. Like, how unsexy this is. Give me a yes. Thank you. Give me a no. See? Anywhere with everything and anything, you can do this. And you can even use stuff like this, earphones. And you could do it with both ends. But let's see, say we go with this. So you're like in a cafe, it's full of people, and you want to pick a pile watching a video, and you don't want to get your pendulum out because it might look funny. So you can just use your earphones and say, give me a yes. See? Give me a no. And you get your no. So there you go. I think I proved that you can do this with anything you want. Now, so now you know how to get your answer for you. It can, your answer, your yes can be the opposite of mine. It really all depends on your own energy. So, I think that for most people, yes is back and forth and no is the circle. I'm in reversed. Hey, that happens, you know. So, the other type of movement that you can get is this. Let's see if we can. It's like spinning an oval and turning on its own. So this means that your question is not clear, or there's other options, or you're asking like there's too many possibilities for your question, so it's not clear enough. Or it could just swing and do this. Up and down and up and down and up and down. So when it goes crazy like this, you gotta rethink your question. Or for me, what happened also is that my yes is clockwise and it was spinning the other way around. A beautiful circle, but the other way around. So I had to reformulate my question. And the other thing that can happen is once you're good at it and you know what the responses are and mean for your own pendulum, sometimes it just won't do anything. If it's not moving at all and it's just still like this, or if it's shaking, like shaking a little bit now, it means to me, and you'll know if it happens to you or when it's going to happen to you, that it's because it's not the right time for you to know the answer, or that it's not of your business, or it's something you shouldn't know, and it's not in your best interest or highest interest to know about that. So don't abuse it, pretty much. It happened to me when I was like obsessed about something I had to make a decision on. Pendulum gave me the answer many times, and I was still not believing it, and I was insisting for another same answer just to comfort me, and it just stopped responding. Just like if the pendulum was fed up with with me asking always the same thing. So those are the movements that can happen. So now, so that's the yes, that's the no. There's other ways you can ask for more, different ways you can have answers. Let's say you want to buy a car, and you have a bunch of options, and you want to know, you can ask car by car, is this the car for me? And it's going to say yes or no. And then you switch to the other car, it's going to say yes or no. You can also do the pie, or half a pie, like this. I always keep a slice, let's call it a slice, with other. Like, because this is the options that I can think of, but I leave space for something else because we don't know everything in life. So you could, let's say if you're interested in different persons for a love relationship, like a romantic relationship, you could do this. I have 3, 4, 5, 6 slices. Depends how many interesting people you have in your life. You leave your other, and then you ask. Today I'm not going to ask who's going to be the man of my life. I'm going to ask for what's the first letter of my first name. So my name is Stephanie. We got an S here, and we got letters for the first name of people that I know. Like family members and friends and my kids are in there. You could write down the whole name or your whole option. But just the first letter is okay because the energy or the divine knows what you mean. And the question don't need to be asked out loud. They can be just in your head. Sometimes when I ask the questions in my head, I get at the answer before I'm done saying the question in my head because spirits know that what my intention is. So just as an example, you can use the demi-circle technique and say, what's the first name? What's the first letter of my first name? And it's gonna go and point at it. And let's say I trick it and I go here. I'm not in the center. What's the first letter of my first name? It is still pointing at it. See? Can you swing a little more so that's clear? Yeah. See? So you can use that to have a bunch of, like when you have a bunch of options, do it like that. It doesn't need to look nice. You don't need rainbows and unicorns. This works very well, just like that. And you can go with the full circle if you prefer. And I did this quick, but again, it's just like a pie. I got my other here. And if you do it with a full pie thing or full circle, you go and place your pendulum. You know what? I'll do it with something that is not a real pendulum so that you see. Okay, I'm in the middle. What's the first letter of my first name? And when I do a circle like this, my response, the pendulum always spins around. It's like it's feeling my options. And let it go. It's like it's reading my paper. And it will, on its own, go to the right spot. I find the circle more confusing because it could point at 2 letters, just like now. You know what? I know what my first name is, so I know it's S, but when it's like that, it's not as clear. So what you can do if you get an answer like this is go down here or on the side or anywhere and say point at the first letter of my first name. So it should go to M or S. Okay, and I can go here to validate what's the first letter of my first name. I'm just going to stop it. What's the first letter of my first name? There. Okay. So I like the demi-circle better because you don't have to validate stuff. Sometimes, and usually it's with pendulums that are heavier, I'm going to try to mimicate. It would like swing and almost stop here. Almost stop in the middle and swing there. Like there's more control. So you'll understand how your pendulum, you'll be able to feel it with experience. I've been using pendulums for at least 10 years. My oldest daughter wasn't born, and she just turned 11. So it's been like a while, and I've been doing that. I do it so often that it's part of my normal life. So these are two techniques that you can use to get to the point a little faster. That if you use, let's say, the demi-circle, it could be like, your question could be, what's the name of my true love? And you write down names. You can ask with who am I gonna buy a house? Am I gonna buy a house? Some people like to have like a yes, no, maybe, other, and they can use it for a bunch of questions. They always use the same paper. You can make it nice if you're gonna use it often. You can use this at any sauce. Like, be creative. You can do this all the time. So that's one thing. When it comes to practicing your abilities, okay? And you want to make sure you understand your pendulum. Let's see. So you can play games with your pendulum, and let's do this, okay? And I'll go with this one. Okay, you can practice this way and say, show me the necklace. This is just, I just want to make sure you're, okay, I'll do this. It's going to be easier to see for you. So to practice, like, getting into the right energy, you can say, okay, show me the necklace. Breathing helped me a lot when I was starting. Show me the book. See the movement? It's switching, showing me the book. Show me the heart. Where's my drink? Where's my cup? See, it's pointing down there. Show the cup. My cup is here. So, this thing is going to guide you. I found documents, like my insurance document. I couldn't remember where I've put them after I moved. So I went like room by room. Is it in my room? Is it in the living room? Is it in the basement? And once I got in the basement, I had all these boxes. So I looked through the boxes. I couldn't find it. So I went, is it in this direction? Is it this way? Is it that way? And then is it in this box? And eventually the pendulum showed me the box. And I got my insurance paper, which was awesome, because I had been looking for them for a while. So that's like a little game for practicing the movement, for guidance. And you can also, I'm just switching so that you can see that you can use absolutely anything. I'm gonna ask, like, to practice your answer. Is this a car? Go with stuff that you know the answer, and like super easy stuff. Is this a necklace? Is this wine? It's not, right? So you can do this on a bunch of things. You can ask, am I a man? Am I wearing a skirt? Oh, I'm going to stop it. Am I wearing blue jeans? I am. I actually am. But I won't show you, but I'm wearing jeans. So see, big circle, this, yes, I'm in jeans. And you can practice how big the movement is going to be, but it doesn't, it's not because it's moving more that it's more of a yes. Yes is yes, no is no, but you will feel with time the intensity and the certainty and of the answer. Because sometimes it goes like super crazy. I'm like this, and it bangs on my nails, and it can go completely crazy. So that's for the practice. When I started, I think it took me like 2-3 days, like practicing 5 minutes. I had a small answer, but I wasn't sure. But I was sure about 3 days later. And the movement was big enough so that I was certain that it wasn't me shaking or anything. So that's for one thing. You have to know, very important, that you cannot ask any time questions. You cannot say, for example, am I gonna buy my house before my birthday? Because it's gonna say yes. Right? Because even if you buy your house a week after your birthday, it's still before your next birthday, and you're gonna have many birthdays in your life, so you don't know when. So the way you can be more specific is to say, am I gonna buy a house before I have kids? Am I gonna have kids with my current boyfriend? Are we gonna, so you're gonna get your answer. So if, I'm just gonna pretend, okay? So let's say you ask, am I gonna buy my house before I have kids? It's gonna say yes. Now my hand is moving because I'm pretending, okay? So you say thank you and you stop it. So now you know it's before you have kids. But how do you know it's gonna be with your current boyfriend? So you have to ask, am I gonna have kids with my current boyfriend? And it's going to say yes or no. And then you're going to ask, let's say it says yes, and it's with your current boyfriend. You can ask, are we going to have a period of separation before we have kids? So like, you have to think of all the possibilities, because life is not like we imagine it's going to be. It never happens the way we plan it. So go through possibilities. So are we going to have a period of separation before we have kids together? Are we going to have kids with other people before we buy our house? That kind of thing. Because you can be with someone and have kids with that person eventually, but you can be separated for 5 years and have kids with other people, and then you have all your kids in that new home. So the possibilities in life are endless. And you cannot just assume that it's going to happen like you think it's going to happen. It won't. So, same thing for your choice of career. You might say, I want to be this, but before that, you might be something else. So you're going to have your yes, you're going to realize that dream or accomplish that thing, but before you get there, you might do a bunch of other things. So that's where the pie or the semicircle technique kind of helps you cutting down on the questions. And I used to use like a whiteboard that you can erase, and so I was not using a ton of paper doing it, and I could just like change the options and let it happen that way. I did it once for a house that was on sale and wasn't selling, wasn't getting any visit, and I asked, is the house going to be sold in like February, March, April, September? I did the whole year, and the answer was May. May passed and the house wasn't sold. Okay, so like that person was like, well, this is like crap because May passed. We're in the summer now, and my house is still on sale. Well, the following May she sold. So asking for a specific time does not work. You have to be like more specific. It could work for like stuff like, did I have something to write? I don't. Yes, I do. I'll give you an example of something fun. Like, okay, let's see. Okay, you see. Okay, you could go and do this and say, some people like to like do this and have their pendulum in the middle. So like, let's say I have other option, and you're, for example, you're trying to decide between a few job offers, and you have that store, you have that cafe place, you have that big company, you have an internet business possible that you could do from home. So internet, and what else? A job in sales. Okay, so I'm not looking for work, so I don't know what kind of answer I'm gonna get, but I'm sure in the future I'll have a different career than the one I have now, outside of doing YouTube videos. So, oh, well, you know what? Ink, I'll put the initials of my actual company, the one that gives me my real income. And let's say that the internet is YouTube and plus plus, okay? Because, okay. This is going to be a real question, guys. Okay. I want to make sure you see my hand. Okay, this is a real question. So you have all these options. What career path is in the best choice for me now? Okay, yeah, now it's my company. Okay. Now I say thank you. And I can say, will I have another career that will bring me a good, decent income? I got a yes. Okay. I can ask, these are real questions for my real life, guys. Is that other possibility of job or career gonna bring me more money, and but also more happiness and fulfillment than my actual career? Okay, something better is coming my way, guys. That is exciting for me. So you can try this on for your own, like for your own life. Okay, is my future career that we're talking about on this half circle? It is. Okay, thank you. Show me what my future career is. Okay, we got internet, YouTube, and plus plus. That's good because that's what I would like. Okay, and I'm gonna say, point to me which of these career or work option will bring me the most abundance in my life. Show me which option will bring me the most abundance. So now it's kind of checking it out, and it's going back to this. All right. I'm just happy it didn't point to sales because I'm not a good salesperson. And I don't want to work in a cafe or a store anymore. I did when I was younger. But doing internet stuff, I find it super fun. So, yeah, thank you, Pendulum. You know what? I had a good feeling it would be that because that's what I'm working towards. But if this was not going to be successful, I would have stayed here in my current business. Or I would have pointed to others. You know, I don't know what the future is got in reserve for me. So you can do this for all sorts of things, but that gave you an idea of how to get to a point and validate many different ways with different questions. Especially when you're starting to do this, you might not be sure. Your question might not be like exactly precise, and make sure you don't have a double question in your question. Like, am I gonna get married and have kids with him? That would not work. There's like two questions and two options. So you would need to know, am I gonna get married with him? You get your answer. If it's no, well, you won't have kids. Well, you could. Actually, you could. So if it says no, you cannot get married, you're not gonna get married to him, ask if you're gonna have kids with him. So you're gonna have your answer for that. You can ask, are we gonna be a couple and have, you know, and have kids together? You're gonna have your answer, because you could have kids with someone and not get married, or get married and then divorce, and like think of all the options that can happen. So you'll have a better picture of what's coming up your way. And at the beginning, it's nice to write down all your questions. Look at them. You're gonna like leave space in between each question so that when you look at them, you might want to add more questions in between to specify. And what I used to do, so I add my question 1, 2, 3. They were not numbers. So question. And I had my pendulum in my right hand because I write with my right hand. If you're a lefty, use your left hand or use a hand that feels comfortable. And I was using the other hand to say like yes, no, and it looked like crap, but I wasn't like, and I was writing with the other hand, and after that I could like remember all the answers, because you're going through a bunch of things and you won't remember what the answer were once you get at the bottom of your story or your inquisition or it's basically like you're reading. The other thing I wanted you to know, and that's what I was thinking about last night, and I couldn't sleep because it's such a good trick and I use it all the time. I love watching pick-a-card readings, and when you look at the thumbnails, you have those like 3, 4, 6 piles. There's like a ton of piles, and you have to like go with your intuition and pick one. And sometimes you got the red stone here, but the pink one is also so sparkly and you're kind of drawn to it and you're not sure. So what I do is like I pause the video and I ask my pendulum, which pile is best for me? And it's gonna point. Oh, you're pointing to this one. I'm pointing. Why are you pointing? Ah, the Ten of Cups. Pentacles. Well, that's a good card. So I would just, sorry, I was like playing my own little game here. So I pause the video and I say, which pile has the best message for me concerning this relationship, let's say. And I do have a relationship in mind, and it's pointing to the same card. And I've been having this 10 of Pentacles in all my readings for the past week. Believe it or not. So I cannot wait to have that 10 of Pentacles happening in my life. But the pendulum right now is talking to me. Even if this was just an example. So basically I have my phone and I hold the pendulum on top. And it's telling me, some readers will have like a bunch of cards. Like yesterday I had 7 piles. So let's say you have this on your screen with a bunch of piles. That's your phone. Imagine a rectangle. So I would go, there's a few ways you can do this. I would go here on the side of my phone screen and say, in which row is my message for my relationship or connection that I'm thinking about? And it's going to point to the top right now. So I go in the center of my screen. If it was the bottom row, I would go at the bottom. And then I say, which pile has the best message for me concerning my relationship with this person? Jeez, is it going to be a 10 of Pentacles again? Oh no, the sorrows are over. Yeah, it's about time. So, that was another message for me. Thank you for that. It was unexpected, but I'm very happy that the anxiety and this is over. Okay, so that's one way I go and I pick my piles when I look at pick-a-card readings. The other way you can go is to write down the numbers, like pile 1, 2, 3, and have your pendulum point. Or you can say, does pile 1 has a message for me? It's going to say yes or no. Pile 2, pile 3, and you go through them. And sometimes, well, you can do that too. You go in the timestamp or in the comments, wherever all the timestamps are marked for the readings, and you put your pendulum next to them and you say point to the right message, and it's going to point to the right message. So all these ways will work. So it doesn't have to be a yes or no. It can be show me what's best, show me which way. So just like it did for my insurance paper. What else can I say? Did I mention that you don't need to speak out loud? When it's for myself, I never say my question out loud. It's all in my head, and sometimes it's not even a sentence. It's a feeling, it's an intention, and this guy or any others will respond to what I have in mind. I'm just going to look at my notes because there was so many. No, that's it. Yeah. What would be good to understand better? And when I started, I bought a book about like pendulum, and I spent a weekend reading it. I'm sure that today you can find an article or like something shorter than a book to start on Google or on YouTube. You might find a video. I would strongly suggest to like have a little bit more infos and read about it. Honestly, I don't even remember how they explained how the energy is channeled through you. But when you get rid of those, when you get, well, actually it can happen at the beginning, but once your movement is clear and like the energy is really strong, you can do this, and I'm not asking anything, and the pendulum with me will turn, and I can feel the circle in my hand. And I do not know how to explain this. I'm sure Google has the answer, but right now I can feel the energy at the tip of my finger because it's turning wide, and on my wrist. And when it slows down like now, the circle comes back inside my hand, and my hand is warmer. So that's something to try. You will feel the energy, and you feel it on your finger and your hand, and it's kind of going through this and right in the other end, and it's really, really, well, it's fun. You might find it freaky at the beginning, But it's really awesome to know that we're able to do this. And that confirmed to me that everything is energy. If this thing can move without me moving it, I mean, you will trust your pendulum or your necklace that you're using. Once you get good at this, once you have answers and you see that things happening and everything is right, you will start trusting this a lot. So I would like play with it, try it, and ask for funny things like, is this a car? And it's not. And yeah, please try it. Have fun. Find a necklace and try it. You can just put like one of your favorite ring on a chain. Just find something that resonate with you and try this out, guys. I just wanted to mention, if it's something that you buy, and I have a lot of things to say. If it's something that you buy from a store or online, you might want to clean it, like get new energy in it. So clean it. If it's washable, you can wash it. And then put it on like the window seal. If you don't have something like this, okay, this is to purify. That's why it's always on my table. If you don't have this, just put it in the sun. Go to the park, have a picnic, put it on the table, leave it there in the sun, and the sun is going to purify this. And they say you can do this with all your stones. Leave them in the sun, it's going to purify them. And then if you want to put your own energy in it, just put it in your pocket for an afternoon or hold it. It doesn't take much, but all my stuff has all my energy in it. But if it's something new, you want to purify it. If it's something that was given to you as a gift, like let's say you have like a necklace from your ex, it's yours, but you might want to purify it because it's from a past relationship that maybe did not turn out well, but you still like the jewelry. If it's from your dad, let's say, and it's a good souvenir of your dad, well, you won't need to purify it. It's just like you want to make sure what you're going to be using as a pendulum is pure. It's all new energy just for you. And if it doesn't need to be a stone, it can be metal. But if you look at mine, like I have this one, and this one is a little fancier. It's very heavy and very pointy. So this one in your pocket, not a good idea. I tried it. Nope, not a good idea. I have this one, which is super heavy. The chain is shorter. It's just because one day I put it in the washer and dryer and I had to fix it. It doesn't matter how long the chain is. It doesn't. I have two metal ones. And this is not real gold, by the way. And I do not believe this is silver because I think I paid like $15 for these Canadian money. Pendulums are not expensive. On Amazon, they can be like $10, $12. I'm talking Canadian money again. But they're not expensive. And the first one I got, this one was $50 because this is real silver. It's the what is it called in English? Tiger eye, the stone. And this was not a stone that I was attracted to. It's like brown and beige and like, but it's still the one I use the most. And there's a moonstone on top. But I had no idea what all that meant. And it's not as pointy as it used to be, but it really doesn't matter. I had a pendulum that was like this big and it chipped and it was still working. So you'll get used to all the stuff as you practice, and you do not have to have something religious or symbolic with your pendulums. This is just for me. This belonged to my grandfather. That's why it's there, because it's reminding me of my grandfather. It's not, to me, it's not a religious symbol. My grandfather was very religious, but I also have Buddha here. It's just, this space is just a space that I'm comfortable with. You don't need all the knickknacks at all. You don't need knickknacks and stones all over the place and crystals. You don't need them. It might help you feel more zen or calm. Do whatever works for you. Really, I'm not the type that would give you a protocol, like meditate an hour before and all that. It's I don't need it, so I don't think it's necessary. But you might want to lit a candle before you do this and sit quiet and make sure the kids are in bed or whatever. So find a way to do this that is working for you and that you're comfortable in. And that is it. So, okay guys, so thank you so much for watching. This was like fun infos for me to share with you, especially the pick a card to help you pick your pile. And be sure you can like trust your intuition first and validate with your pendulum. Like, try it and let me know in the comments what you think of it. And once you get your pendulum moving, no, just tell me what you're using and try it out on one of my videos or any other card readers. There's so many out there that are so great and so good. So please guys, comment about this. Let me know if it works for you, and subscribe to the to my channel if you want to get notified every time I post a new video. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Oh, sorry guys, I know I just said bye-bye to everyone, but while I was like cleaning up, I just came to my mind that there's something very important to know about asking questions for other people. So do not ask questions about other people, other people's life or issues or concerns without their permission. Very important that they're aware that you're doing this, that they know what you're gonna ask, and ideally do it with them. Ask them to prepare their question, go through the question to make sure they're precise and they work and they make sense, and add your own questions to clarify all this. But you do not want to know, for example, let's say your best friend is having issues in her marriage. So you don't want to ask without her knowing that is she going to get divorced? Is she going to have, I say she, but is the person's going to have custody of the kids? Is she going to be broke? Is she going to live in a decent place? What's going to happen to her? You don't want to know that without her knowing, because then you're stuck with knowledge that don't belongs to you, and it won't bring you anything good. You're going to be stuck with a secret. And trust me, it's not fun, or it doesn't feel good to know about other people's future and not being able to share it. And you don't want to live with that, because like your friend could divorce only in 5 years and be 5 years in pain and unhappy, and every time she's going to talk to you about her situation, you're going to be like dying to let her know that she should get out of there, but it's none of your business. So you don't want to know all that stuff. Same thing for sick people. Like, let's say a family member is super sick, and you ask, is he going to make it? Is that person going to make it? And your answer is no. So that person is going to die from that illness that he's got, for example. But you don't know when, because time doesn't exist. So you might know that this illness he's not going to make it, but this can take years. Time doesn't exist. So all your life, like for years, it could be years, it could be weeks, it could be anything, you will be knowing that this person is fighting for his life or her life, and she won't win the battle, and you won't be able to tell her, and you don't want to tell her. That would not be good energy to share if she doesn't know, and if that person didn't ask you those answers. So sometimes people are just not ready to know, not ready to make the change. So please don't investigate others people's lives without them asking you for those answers. Very, very important to respect that, and you don't want to live with that knowledge, or you don't want to have that secret on your mind. Trust me, it is because with time you'll know that the answer you're getting is gonna happen, and you don't want to live with that. So very important to do this with the other person's permission, and only ask what they want to know, even if you might get super curious and you know that you could have a lot more infos. So that was my last thing that I needed to say. If you're still watching, because this was a long video. I was thinking more of a 15-minute video, but it's more like an hour now. So hopefully this was very helpful for all of you, and I hope I'll see you soon again. All right, have a great day, everybody. Ciao, ciao.